Good morning, guys. You want to unmute Gino? I see we got Gino on here now. We're going to, oops. He's logging in here to accept us, and then we'll get him on here. So, how you guys doing today? Beautiful day. We're excited here to have Gino as our guest. There he is. How we doing, Gino? So, look at that, guys. Huh? The thing that we gave Gino on stage at convention, it's Super Bowl hat, Kansas City Chiefs, baby. On ESPN last night, they had the Broncos and the Chiefs, so I was watching that. So we're going to play a quick little video here. Before we play it, this video really reminds me of Gino. It talks about work ethic, and I gave a quote that Ryan Estes chatted with me about a couple weeks ago that, I've always said, let's prepare, let's hope for the best, or let's prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And Ryan says right now during these times, he's preparing for the worst and working for the best, that outworking everything. And I will tell you, the one thing that I've learned about Gino over the years is that his work ethic is unbelievable. And I think Gino and I are probably living proof that you don't have to be 4.0 straight A students to be successful in life, but that if you work hard enough, you have the focus and the discipline, you can be successful. So Gina, play this quick video, and then we're going to dive into the same with our different here.
The key with me is no one will outwork me. No one. I love and I respect you guys. Motherfuckers won't outwork me. I'll start with this. 2 hands, putting it to work.
You cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, wasting all this technology you got, just sitting around in this world that's been created for you, that everything is instant. But if you can combine your technology with your parents and your grandparents' work ethic, you could be rich, man.
Just ask yourself this week, do people know you for your work ethic? Are people like, man, you work hard? Are people actually commenting about you showing up early and staying late? Because if they're not, you're just blending in with everybody else's work ethic. At the end of the day, talent will not win the game. It is work ethic that will win the game.
You gotta get gritty, man. You gotta develop some dog in you. You got to get messed up sometimes. You gotta get dirty. You gotta get your feelings hurt. You gotta get disappointed. You gotta get told no. But in order to get the life of convenience, you gotta have a very uncomfortable life. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And you're always gonna have haters, and haters are like, well, damn, man, how much are you gonna do? Like, you do a lot of shit. I say, yes, it's my ambition. Of course, you gotta work every day. It doesn't end. And when shit goes bad and it goes sideways, or you're coming through this injury, or people are writing you off, it should drive you.
If you're gonna get it, you're gonna have to have that dog. You got an opportunity. So here's the deal. When you have an opportunity, why would you give 80%, 70%? Why wouldn't you always give 120%? From today on, you play whatever your best game is, you play that level every single time. Every time you practice, you don't care what the circumstances, what the situation is, every single time, you give it 120%. It doesn't mean you're gonna score every time, but you can always give 120% effort.
Gino, I didn't want you to feel by yourself, so I told Shannon run in and get mine real quick too.
There we go.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, doing good. Great to be with you guys.
Good to be with you. Seeing that video, I said reminds me of you, but it reminds me of a professor I saw about 4 or 5 years ago, and he talked about the 4 traits to being, or 3 traits to being successful. It's your God-given talent, it's coaching, and it's mindset and work ethic. And he said only 20 to 25% of your success will be based on talent, 20 to 25% of your success will be based on the coaching you receive, but 50 to 60% of your success in life will be based on your mindset, your work ethic, right, and that discipline. And Gino, you talked about wigs and 40X and all this stuff all the time. And that's really what that is, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's having a system.
So we got Gino here for 15, 20 minutes. Gino, why don't you run away, dive into whatever you want to. We're excited to have you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Great. Well, first of all, thanks, Vince, for having me here, and appreciate your leadership and the great stuff that you're doing. I got fired up just watching your video before, and I got to grab that work ethic video. You pulled that right off of YouTube? Is that where it came from?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm looking
great.
at Gina. Gina's shaking her head yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so that's terrific there. Okay, here's what I thought I'd do, and it's actually got a little bit of a message that it kind of portrays with the work ethic piece, and just all by accident. First of all, let's just talk a tiny bit about mindset. And again, you come from an outlier type office, an outlier type company with an outlier leader in Vince Lisi. So a lot of this stuff that I'm going to talk with you is more of a reminder than anything really new, because that's the culture that you come from. But I got 7 easy research-backed steps to have a positive mindset, which we know is one of those important things. I always talk about during a downturn, your work ethic, your mindset, and your skills are the 3 most important things that you need to have. And that's why you will grow market share during this downtime here. So the first thing is to practice gratitude. We've all heard about that a great deal. And I want you to know, when I fill out my gratitude journal, which I'll do right after this, the first thing I'm put on there is Vince Lisi. And the second thing is your team at Ambassador. Says I'm grateful, truly grateful for you guys right there. But it's a sure way to shift your mindset in a positive direction is through practicing gratitude. And one of the things that you can do a little bit differently, perhaps. We all know about the gratitude journal. In fact, I sent you my gratitude journal the last time I was there, and be happy to resend that to anyone they want. But you can find a gratitude partner. Starting on April 1st, I grabbed actually 5 people, and I have them as my gratitude partners. Of course, Deetra's one, and then I've got a couple people around the country. Johnny Johnson, who is one of them. In any case, find a gratitude partner, and every single morning we text our gratitude partners what we're grateful for. So I'm going to just go click on something right here, and you can see this is a guy, Ken Barris, and he's in New Jersey. He's my gratitude partner. But we've texted already early in the morning what we're grateful for. And one of the things I put on there is I'm grateful today that Kathy Jackson is back home at Intero. We had one of our great agents get bought by Compass, right? And she stayed there for the year and a half or whatever it was, and now she's back. So I practice gratitude, have a gratitude partner. Second thing is to actually focus on your posture. There's scientists have debated the direct correlation between body and mind, and the same thing happens with your mindset there. So here's what I had to do, being on all these Zoom calls. I had to stick this pillow right here behind my back so I would have a little bit better posture when I was in front of a group. So that's number 2, focus on your posture. Number 3, you've heard me talk about my meds, meditation, exercise, diet, and sleep. Well, number 3 is to meditate. Lots of studies there that talk about mindset and the positivity of meditation. I think there's enough information around there. Number 4 is kind of what you do. And I think one of the great reasons why more people show up to the office at your company than almost any other company in the country, and that is to surround yourself with positive people, okay? Attitude is contagious. A negative attitude is contagious, and a positive attitude is contagious. So you just gotta make sure that your attitude is something worth somebody, being contagious to somebody, something worth catching, right? So surround yourself with positive people. Number 5 is be kind to others. We always talk about a random act of kindness, but just genuinely going out of your way to do be kind of others. Every morning, part of my routine is I'll go to Starbucks when I'm walking my dog and doing my meditation and prayer, my first thing in the morning, because it opens up at 5 a.m. And I had to think, and there was only 2 people working in there, and they were bringing you the drink out to the front. And so twice, within the last month or so, I've just reached in my pocket and gave him $100 bill as a tip, as a thing of kindness. And one of the reasons is I was traveling all the time, so I'd be tipping the guy putting my suitcase in my bag $20 and tipping this person and tipping that person, and I had saved all that little bit of money, and I could, how can I bring that random act of kindness or just be kind to people? What happens is when you do that, okay, it causes the endorphins, which Vince talks about all the time, dopamine and serotonin, to be released in that other person. When it's released in them, you get it back. You can try this out. Try this out with your dog. Get your dog, look straight into your dog's eyes and smile. And I guarantee it, they'll feel the endorphins. Their tail will start wagging. I do it with Kona all the time. All the time that happens. So number 4 was surround yourself with positive people. I'm sure number 5 was be kind to others. Number 6 is quiet the inner critic. That's the drunk monkey, right? The good old drunk monkey that sits up on your shoulder and judges every mistake that you make. You just got to quiet that inner critic. That's a great way to have a positive mindset. And the 7th one is to not downplay your successes. And I know at BHHS Ambassador, we're always celebrating something, right? We're celebrating our successes for the Sunshine Kids. We're celebrating our successes. I think, as you look at Vince, we were talking about the numbers yesterday, and your numbers are crazy for COVID for the month of May right now, right? Just crazy numbers. And you've got to celebrate those things. Those are great things to do. I told you there's part of this, what I was going to talk with you this morning about, and then I'm almost done, but thanks very much for staying right with me. I've got some quotes that I would always share with our agents at Intero and managers, and I actually pulled these things up. I noticed the date on it was 3/4/2003. You can kind of see the date on these notes right here, 3/4/2003, and that's when I was building Intero. A brand new company from scratch, going from 0 to 1,000 agents in 18 months, all organically with no mergers or acquisitions. And here were some notes from that. Okay, you're going to see a Jim Rohn flavor to these, Vince. There's usually about a half dozen things that make 80% of the difference. Keep looking for the few things that make the most difference. Then spend most of your time focusing on those things. Time management is the best kept secret of the rich. Rich people have 24 hours a day. Poor people have 24 hours a day. Both have equal time, but complete difference in the outcome. It's called time management. Look for the few things that make the most difference and spend most of your time working on those things. Here's a good one. A man buys 2 tons of donuts in the last 10 years and 2 books and wonders why he's broke. Philosophy, that's the ability to think, to process ideas and information. What an important function that is. Using time, only human beings can establish a philosophy and record their lives. Animals can't do it. The goose only flies south in the winter. All the stuff we used to blame for our lives, we call the wind. The wind. What makes the difference is the set of the sail. The same wind blows on us all. The difference is the set of the sail. The same wind is blowing on all of your competitors. The reason, Vince, why, and you know this, Vince, the reason why your team is doing better is because of the set of the sail, right? When you become good at setting the sail, you could care less about how the wind blows. Regardless of how the wind blows, you go where you want to go. What you don't know will hurt you. What you don't know will hurt your bank account. What you don't know will hurt your health. What you don't know will hurt your future. That's why, Vince, on our WIG calls now with the CEOs, you're just declaring stuff that you should know. If you don't know, it'll hurt you, right? And we're just declaring those types of things. Learn from the negative as well as the positive. That's why the Bible's such a great example. Warnings, don't do what these men did. It's a disaster. Find out what poor people do and don't do it. Find out who they blame and don't blame them. Find out what they read and don't read it. Learn from failure. Learn from tragedy. Here's the other side. Learn from success. Pay attention. Don't just stagger through the day. Walk away from the 90%. Don't read what they read. Don't do what they do. Join the 3% that read the books. What you don't read won't help you. What the book you miss might cost you a fortune. Formal education gets you a job. Self-education makes you a bridge. Formal education makes you a living. Self-education makes you rich. Never begrudge the money you spend on personal education. If a guy's an idiot and you motivate him, all you've got is a motivated idiot. Life change does not start with inspiration. Life change starts with education. Treat the past as a school. Let it teach you. Reach for the past towards something called valuable experiences. The promise of the future is an awesome force. For every promise, there's a price to pay. If the promise is clear, the price is easy. What shapes our attitudes? Education does. Emotions must go to school. Attitude is greatly shaped by influence and association. Never underestimate the power of influence. What a great thing for your company, for your office, for that big, beautiful building and everything that you guys have, for all the things that you bring together. You're one of the few leaders out there that, Vince, that believe that, you know what, it's good to come into the office. It's good to be around the people and get around them. So never underestimate the power of influence. Take a look at influence and association. Two pretty important questions to ask yourself. Who am I around? What have they got me doing? What have they got me reading? Where have they got me going? That's a good question. Now ask yourself, is that okay? Influence is powerful and subtle. You may have to disassociate, not quickly, but think about it. Walk away and learn to say no to the wrong influence, right? That's what you're telling all your competitors right now, and that's why they're joining you, you know? The next is expanded association. Find people that can be more than you and spend time with them. Number 3 is activity. 1 is what we know. 2 is how we feel. 3 is what we do. Activity, the work part, the labor. New life only comes from labor. Wisdom uninvested labor gives no miracle. It's wasted. The Bible says labor 6 days, rest 1. Rest too long, the weeds take over the garden. Skills make a difference. You can chop a tree down with a hammer. It'll take you 30 days. Or you can chop it down with an axe and it'll take you 30 minutes. Make measurable progress in reasonable time. The numbers tell us the whole story. Success is a numbers game. How much money did you save in the last 5 years? How many books have you read in the last 90 days? In the last 6 months, how many classes have you taken to develop your skills? Take charge of your own life. So those are a few little bullets. I call situations that we're facing right now, the seminars that you would never have signed up for, but when you look back on it, you're grateful that the person that you've become because you take advantage of every situation. I'm going to commit to you that I'll come out of the current situation, no matter how long it lasts, a stronger and better version of myself, okay? So my question is, how about you? How about your team? How about your family? I got 3 theme songs that I've come up with for this, Vince. In fact, I mentioned it yesterday on our call, right? 3 theme songs. One is that old one. It's all Red Rubber Ball because it has that line where it says, think the worst is over now, right? So that's the first song. The next one is Steve Winwood, When You See Your Chance, Take It. We've got a chance right now to really separate ourselves and finish strong. So when you see your chance, take it. And then my favorite one is from Jimmy Buffett. And it's a line that he has in there that to never worry about the past, right? And it goes like this: yesterday's over my shoulder. I can't look back there too long. There's too much to see that's in front of me, and I know I won't go wrong. So I'll leave you with those thoughts. Vince, thank you for all you do. It's been great, Vince, these last 5, almost 6 years now to become friends first with you and now colleagues together. And then we end up at HomeServices of America together too on our journey. Appreciate all you do. Appreciate you. Appreciate the hat, even how hard it was for me to wear it now. Kind of like my 49ers losing in the Super Bowl. Hopefully, we'll see you next year in the Super Bowl again for a repeat.
We hope so. Gino, thank you so much, brother. We appreciate having you on here. Some great advice, some great tips. So I always appreciate your inspiration and your leadership, buddy.
Okay, thanks, team. I'm gonna and Gina, thank you for everything too, and getting this all set up with Deetra. Really appreciate that. I guess Vince, I'll be leaving the meeting now. Is that cool?
You can pop out of the meeting. Thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
Super.
Take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, wasn't that great having Gino here to get us pumped up and motivated? I always enjoy talking to him through these processes. I had a quote to start the day that I forgot to do. I'm so pumped up about getting Gino on here by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou? Maya. I don't know why I can't pronounce that name right. I've been quoting her for 10 years. And Shannon showed me an article that someone wrote yesterday, and the quote was in there. It's, I think a hero is any person really intent on making this a better place for all people? I think a hero is any person really intent on making this a better place for all people. And that really is a true definition, I think, of what a hero is. So how cool is that? So I want to run through some things. Guys, you are killing it. It is unbelievable to me what's going on in the marketplace. Our best month last year, I had this wrong before, our best month last year was May. For new pending transactions, the best month we had was May. I'm going to get the hat off on Gino. He hates wearing that hat, by the way. It broke his heart. He was complaining for 2 months about the Chiefs beating San Francisco in the Super Bowl. So I had to rub that in a little bit at convention. We did 1,374 new transactions, new pending transactions last May. And right now, I believe we're going to probably beat that. We had 123 new pending transactions processed yesterday, and we had 40 deals not processed. Now, there were 4 that fell through. So maybe that may put us at 119 plus 40. That would have been an all-time high if we could have got all those processed for the number of new pending transactions today. Now, Monday and Tuesday always are higher days than Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because they have all of the transactions that occurred over the weekend coming in. But it is amazing to me as I talk to you guys how much business you're doing out there. The thing that it continues to lag, we were running last month at 75% of listings. We're still running about 90% of the listings we had last year. But the listings the last week have picked up tremendously. And month to date, for new listings, we've had 482 new listings. This time last year, we were at 534. So we are still running a little behind on new listings. There really seems to be a shortage of listings. And I think it's what's really driving this market. This theory here that I've heard over the last couple months that people are going to sit on the sidelines and prices are going to go down in value is absolutely not happening. Quite honestly, the exact opposite of that is happening. We are seeing multiple offer situations, not only up to 250, 300, but really even up to 325, 330 right now, that if something is priced right and in marketable, updated, good condition, we are seeing multiple offers. And it's not unusual for me to see a $200-some-thousand house receive offers of $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 above list price. And the amazing part of this, now we'll see what happens here, but up to this point in time, we've not had a lot of issues with appraisals. A lot of these are drive-by appraisals, but for the most part, as I talk to the other managers and those of you doing a lot of business, most of these appraisals are coming back and these things are appraising out. So that's crazy. So this theory that because of this, there's going to be downward pressure on prices to this point has just not been true. Up to 2 weeks ago, I did feel that the possibility of getting a good deal or a discount on a house relative to what the market was prior to this would have been that executive market 750 plus. But over the last 2 weeks, the number of transactions that I've heard that have been written and starting to be put together in that $1 million plus price range, and I'm hearing people even working on $2.5 and $4 million deals right now, is amazing to me. So it seems like that floodgate has opened up, and even that executive market has really, really took a turn for the better, and it's really taken everything to another level. So right now, everything is clicking on all cylinders, but I would encourage you, the people that continue to tell you that there's going to be a deal out there, you need to explain to them that we're seeing multiple offers, that houses are selling above list price, not below list price. I was on a CEO call last week with Gino and a number of other people, and he had the chief economist for NAR on there. What's his name? Young, I don't know what his name is. Can't ever pronounce it or remember it. But and he was comparing 2007-8 to what's going on now, and he said, we just don't see any reason for the real estate market to continue not to be stable and strong as we come out of this. That we don't have, is what we've talked about. We don't have the inventory we had. We have incredibly low inventory, and he went on to say that he believes that the amount of new construction coming into the market the last 5, 6, 7 years has just been not enough to keep up with supply. And that's part of the reason that we have such low inventory, that we just don't have enough builders building, especially in those entry level, in our market, again, those entry level move up markets, which was what we're talking about, is up that up to $300,000 price range. We've got celebrity, we got legacy, we got a handful of people out there doing some things, but nobody really on mass to fill that void. And so I don't see any of those properties, if you buy it, even if you're buying it, unfortunately, at $10,000, $15,000 over list price today, I don't see them going down in value over time. So be happy to talk about that. And we've had a lot of conversations in our mastermind groups about that. So a couple opportunities that I've seen as I've talked to some of you agents that I want you to consider is I'm starting to see for sell by owners as an opportunity. Now, we're not always excited about helping for sell by owners. But one is, and I think I've talked about this maybe in a sales meeting before, but I know in a number of mastermind groups, is that for sell by owners seem to be struggling through this time frame because they're not driving the traffic that we're doing because of the social distancing and everything going on. They're not driving as much traffic as they have in the past. And so I'm seeing many people that have not went after for sell by owners in the past, going after them and getting listings with for sell by owners. The second thing is we've got people going FHA, VA, you know, asking for closing costs and stuff like that. And they're losing out when there's 8, 15, 20 bids on properties. And the for sale by owner is an opportunity there. So go out there because these for sale by owners are willing to pay your 2.4 to 3% if you as an agent bring them a property. And what's happening is they're not getting the multiple bids. They're not getting these crazy prices that some of these houses listed are. So it's an opportunity where your buyer has to have closing costs paid for. You know, they're doing an FHA or VA loan or something like that. I think it's an opportunity for you to go out there, get a compensation agreement signed with those for sale by owners. And it may be a better deal, quite honestly, for your buyer than it is if they go out and buy something else in the marketplace. So let's look at for sale by owners in a different light. Let's look at them as an opportunity to get listings and maybe chase those as a listing agent to get more inventory in the marketplace. One, because I truly believe we can get them substantially more than they can get on their own. We can create a bidding war, a frenzy, and create more interest and activity in their properties. But two is let's look at our buyers that have been losing out on some bids, and let's look at that as an opportunity for buyers to get out there and maybe buy a property at a better price and get their terms accepted. Talking about multiple offers, talking about what's going on in the marketplace, one of the things that's starting to really concern me as I'm talking to some of you agents, both on the listing side and the buyer side, is I'm seeing more and more deals get accepted. And we're going to have Kevin with AHS talk to us a little bit here, and he can kind of follow up on this. But I'm seeing us get more and more deals accepted in these multiple offer situations where the buyer's not asking for a home inspection. I heard a number of those over the weekend. And in addition to that, not only not asking for a home inspection and or a home warranty. That is very concerning to me, especially in this $300,000 and below marketplace when we do that. So we've talked to Scott. Scott will have downloaded with Daryl. We'll get it out to all of the managers today. But I want to have a disclosure sign. So if you're going to have a buyer buy a property, no home inspection, no warranty, it scares me because sure as the day is long is what happens. They move in that property and something major goes wrong. Their air conditioner, the furnace, something goes out. They've got a major expense. And many of these people were struggling to come up with the money, especially in today's environment where many times they're not being able to ask the seller for closing costs because they're getting kicked out and losing that property, right? So with them struggling to pay for their closing costs, to get the money for the down payment, to get in that house, now all of a sudden they don't have an inspection, so something's wrong with that is a major expense. They don't have the money to do that. So, you know, what I want to do is make sure that if that's the case and getting that house is that important to them and they're going to do that is under those scenarios with no home warranty, no home inspection, have them sign that disclosure that Scott, I don't know what we'll do, but Gina in her notes will put that out to you and we'll attach that to the sales meeting notes that come out later today. But make sure that disclosure gets done to say that you offered and advise them that they should get a home inspection and at minimum a home warranty in that process. So please do that because this market right now is crazy. The multiple offers out there is unbelievable. The last 2 weeks, as I just look at the activity and the number of sales that we're doing, there's no way coming into May with social distancing and what's going on that I would have ever anticipated that we would do better this month. And now that's not over, but it's looking very likely that we would do better this May than last May, which was the best month of the year last year. So guys, you guys are doing an unbelievable job. I found as I talked to you of reaching out and building and nurturing those relationships with your clients with that I care attitude. So continue to do that because I really do believe that there's a number of sellers and some buyers, but a number of sellers on the sideline. And I believe the amount of pent-up demand that comes out of here the second half of this year is going to be as strong as any second half of the year that we've seen over the last 10 to 15 years. So make sure that you're prepared for that. So continue to work, continue to make sure that you're reaching out to your people to build and nurture those relationships in that process. So the last thing I want to talk about, and then we'll get Kevin on here, is right now you don't have as much time, but we're trying to get more and more people. By the way, all managers are coming back in the office on a daily basis. So we're going to be fully engaged with agents there for the entire day. Moving forward, we want to be seeing you. We're getting more activity in the office. I've heard so many people say, you know, it was okay for the first week or two working from home, but you know, I need to get back around other people, to have human interaction, to learn from each other, to inspire, to encourage each other, and all those type of things. So please get back in the office. But again, with the mindfulness of, let's not be gathering around the front desk and the conference rooms and stuff like that, and having everybody chat with each other. If you have an office, go to your office. If you got a cube, go to your cube. Let's continue to social distance with each other so we can continue to be safe and we don't have a resurgence of this. And I'm not even positive in Omaha that we've even seen the surgence of this. You know, we've not maybe seen the peaks of what's going to happen here, but there's enough business out there that we need to make sure that we're being mindful of the business out there, and we need connected. But let's start putting ourselves back in the environment where there's some energy, there's some excitement. We can be a sponge and learn from each other. We are looking at how do we, over the next you know, couple months of the summer, figure out how do we start having some get-togethers? How can we do a grill out? How can we get back together to enjoy each other, to socialize with each other, to learn from each other, to laugh with each other, quite honestly. Yesterday, we were going to have, I guess, a mini get-together where we were going to go back in the back of the building at Village Point and clean up some of the trash that's blown back there in the tree lines and stuff like that. It was too muddy, but that'll get rescheduled here as soon as the weather permits over the next week or two. So we know that we need to get us back together, to socially connect, to learn from each other, to engage with each other, just to be around each other for our own mental well-being. That the amount of anxiety, you've heard me say this, the amount of anxiety and stress that people have is just off the charts lately. So we want to create an environment to get you guys re-energized and refocused, but you guys have done an unbelievable job of staying in touch with your clients. So please continue to do that. I know we're going to jump Kevin on this call real quick here. Is there something else you want to tell me that I missed?
Yeah, Scott created that disclosure and Daryl just uploaded it to .loop.
Perfect.
So it should be available today or tomorrow.
Perfect. So the disclosure that Scott has got together has got to Daryl, so that'll be downloaded on our system here soon. And rates real quick before we get Kevin on here. I did write rates down somewhere. Rates have still continued to be crazy good. Hey, Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. On a 30-year note, rates are up at 3.375, so 3 1/8. So they have creeped up a little bit from the 3 1/8 that we had most of last week. On a 15-year mortgage, you've got 2.75, so 2 3/4. So rates continue to be a driving force in this market. So as you're talking to your people with that I care attitude, make sure that you are talking to them about what interest rates are, the buying power that they have in today's marketplace. And the truth is, anybody that you sold a house to 4 or 5 years ago, guys, that's under $300,000, if they've maintained that house properly, they've got some great equity coming out of that house. And if they're moving into a 350 plus house with the buying power they have with interest rates today, you really should be making sure you're reaching out and targeting those sellers that become buyers, because they win on both sides. The buying power of what they can get on the house they're moving up to is incredible right now. It's going to get them more house than they would have got a year ago. And the equity they can pull out of their current house because of, you know, they bought that house for 175, 210, 230, 4, 5, 6 years ago is incredible. So I think there's some great opportunities out there for us that I want you guys to be capturing. So those of you who've been popping in our mastermind groups, we've been loving that. And this week, yesterday for the first time, we are starting to schedule some mastermind groups back together. We're going to start with the office versus popping into restaurants or anything like that. In the middle of next month. So I think after the 15th of next month, we're going to start trying to get back together physically to have mastermind groups. As I said, you know, and this is one of our lowest attendance meetings. I think we had 218. I saw it earlier. I don't know if we had more than that or not, but you know, we've had 391 people on these Zoom calls. With that, it doesn't create the same energy that we have when we typically have 175 to 250 in our sales meetings in the office. That energy of us interacting and getting together is much greater. So we're going to figure out over the next couple months, how do we start getting together for sales meetings, for mastermind groups and other things. We'll keep you guys up to date on that. And here in the beginning of June, we will have all staff back in the office. Again, all managers are already there. So we'll continue to update you guys that. We'll continue to get the Friday letters out from me to you guys, give you updates on what we're seeing going on in the marketplace. So I appreciate your input. I appreciate your work, and you guys are doing one hell of a job right now. Kevin, you want to dive in and talk a little bit about the warranties?
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for having me on today. I appreciate that. I think the first thing I would go over is enrollment. I think that the seller's coverage enrollment is a really simple, easy process. Again, it's paragraph 25, I believe, in the listing agreement. Just check American Home Shield, and that is automatically done through Jordy in our concierge department. If you have a buyer warranty, I think there's some confusion there. If you have a buyer warranty and you're wanting to enroll AHS, there's a lot of different options. We have an online portal, pro.ahs.com, where you can enroll everything online. You can share your documents with me through Dotloop, and myself or my team will enroll that buyer warranty for you. I just shared a fillable PDF with Maggie, and I'm going to ask her to share that with everybody else so that you guys have the fillable PDF instead of having to print off the enrollment and scan it or whatever. You can just save it and share it through Dotloop. Concierge, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Ambassador, you guys have your own designated team that you can contact if you have status updates on contractors, appointments, things like that, but they can also help you with enrollment. So you can call that concierge 855-424-9608, or the email is ahs.concierge@ahs.com. Gina, I shared that flyer with you, and if you would be so kind as to share that in the weekly updates, I would greatly appreciate that, so we have that contact info. Then you always have me. I have a lot of agents who are just sending me the escrow closing sheet, and I will take care of the enrollment process for you, okay? That has all the information I need. There's nothing confidential on there that I'm aware of, so send me the escrow closing sheet, and I can enroll that for you, make that process as simple and easy as possible. And then Vince led in with today multiple offer situations, okay? And home warranties. If it's a multiple offer, man, that's really scary that we're not having inspections. I would never be an advocate for no inspections or not having a warranty if we're going in $10, $15, $20, $30,000 over, like I've also heard. Will that client, will that new homeowner have the funds to pay for an AC, a furnace, a hot water heater if something should break in the first year or so? Instead of hiding from the warranties, use it to your benefit to help you differentiate your offer maybe from a competitor offer, right? The verbiage, and I believe we have this, or you guys have this in some sort of comment to where you can copy and paste and put it directly into the purchase agreement. I will also share our multiple offer sheet with Gina, if she could be so kind as to share that on the weekly updates. But it simply says buyer to pay for 1 year American Home Shield home warranty. Upon mutual acceptance of our offer, we will purchase home warranty coverage prior to home inspection and extend listing coverage to seller at no cost to them. So buyer's paying for it, they're covered, and you're also using it as a tool to differentiate your offer and offer your seller something. Hopefully the seller and their agent understand the value in the home warranties, especially that seller's coverage, that they see the value, right? If we have inspections, we don't have to worry about a furnace being called out, a cracked heat exchanger being called out, and how we're going to negotiate that. We're going to have coverage by American Home Shield that's going to cover the furnace if something like that gets called out during those inspections, okay? The great thing with Ambassador, you guys get the no-cost seller's coverage, so it's not going to cost you anything additional as long as that warranty is enrolled by Ambassador, right? So if you're working with another office, another brokerage, let them know we will enroll this. We will take care of it, and it will be extended to you. The seller's coverage will be extended to you. Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And that's really I thought that was a great lead into what we're hearing all these multiple offers is, you know, it really does scare me. And quite honestly, I think we as a brokerage and you as agents have a lot of liability if we're putting, especially somebody cash strapped, but probably everybody, into a property with no inspection and no warranty. So having the ability, I think, to do that buyer seller, I think is what you call it, buyer seller coverage, where and the one thing I don't think I heard Kevin say is, remember, this is not just Berkshire Hathaway, because Berkshire Hathaway listings, we already have the ability to do the free listing coverage. This is for even non-Berkshire Hathaway. So if we sold an MP Dodge, EXP, whoever else is listing in the marketplace, that seller, because we're as a Berkshire Hathaway agent, the agent involved in that process on the buyer side would extend that coverage to them. And so their cost in that process would be very minimal if there were any repairs to be made. At least you're protecting your buyer as part of that.
Yeah. And this is new, right? I think American Home Shield offers something in coverage, especially with sellers coverage, that a lot of agents aren't used to, and they may not believe it. No, it's not going to do that. It's not going to cover a furnace if it comes up. So there may be some education that's needed. Just tell them to call me, right? I've had a lot of agents refer another agent to me. I'd be happy to explain the situation to them, how the warranty works, and reassure them, yes, if a crack heat exchanger comes up, it's going to be covered. If your air conditioner comes back low on Freon or whatever the case is, yes, we will cover that.
So Kevin, you've been doing some Zoom calls, I think, from a training perspective, right? Do you have another one scheduled here soon that we can promote?
We do not, but I would love to schedule one.
All right. Why don't I let you do that with Missy and Daryl or somebody on the training team, and we'll get that out there and we'll start promoting that again. But it'd be great to do that again, especially if the situation with these multiple offers going out here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you very much, man. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
All right. You guys too. Thanks a lot.
Hey guys, we're going to wrap this thing up here pretty quick, but I want to remind you, in our parking lot at Berkshire Hathaway, we'll be meeting with Pitch tomorrow to see if they want to co-host it with us. We're going to have a sports car show. There'll be some antique ones, but Lambos, Ferraris, McLarens, those type of cars, Vipers, Porsches. So Pinnacle Bank did this for years, and then Bentley did it last year. So we're going to host it starting. It'll be the second Saturday of each month: June, July, August, September, and probably October, weather permitting. So we're excited about doing that. I would love to have you guys there. Just show up and walk around and look at some cool cars. So we think that'll be a fun experience for all of us as we move forward. The last thing is, before we wrap things up here, is, I want to make sure that you guys are learning from this experience here. We are communicating. We're using technology. I'm hoping you're using social media. A lot of our mastermind groups, we're going to start bringing people in that are really good at Instagram, social media, and other things to make sure that we're communicating in a more effective and efficient manner than we ever have before. This has really forced us into a situation where we've got to learn how do we build these relationships, stay connected, and communicate differently than we have before. And those of you that are paying attention to this and learning from this, I truly believe with all my heart and soul, will come out of this better prepared, a better agent with more clients, and have a much more successful career moving forward. You've got to use this as a vehicle, because people are going to use this as an opportunity to figure out how do they stay connected and communicate much more effectively and efficiently than they have before. It's going to be using Zoom. We had a conversation yesterday in the mastermind group, is people use Zoom as a listing presentation, but would it not be more effective when we email over a contract to them that we're presenting to a seller to maybe get on a Zoom call, because we see their body language, we see their reactions when we're presenting an offer to them, talking about price and other things. And I think it gives you an advantage to better read them when you're negotiating, because you understand what they're thinking when you can see them. So I think this type of technology is going to be really critical as we move forward. And I think much of the business world is going to be embracing it in ways that we've never thought of before. So please look at, what are you doing with social media, with technology, with video, with other things, and make sure that now becomes a permanent part to your business as you continue to build and grow your business. So we said we want to start getting in and out of these in 45 minutes for you guys, but we will give you a schedule of get-togethers here moving forward. We will try to figure out how we can do some grill outs or some things like that. We don't know what kind of restrictions we're going to have, but I know we're not going to be able to probably put 500 of us together and do things. So, but we do want to start having some interaction. So start creeping back into the office, guys. Spend some time in there. Let's continue to reach out to our clients more than anything else. But I appreciate Gino for coming on the call today. I hope that you guys took some great notes out of there. We will do a recap later today to get all that stuff out to you. But guys, continue to work, continue to prospect. Let's get listings. We really need listings. So let's figure out what can we do to do that. But have a great day. Have a great week. I appreciate you. You are killing it. Keep up all the hard work, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.